I mean, I think, what happened in Georgia is very instructive of at least half of what your equation is, which is I think there is a cultural aggrievement that conservatives have that I think exceeds that of liberals, frankly. And that cultural aggrievement takes its form in a couple of different ways. I mean, here is an ad, right? Here is an ad by Karen Handel, right? This is called Childish Radicals. Is that the one? And
I wish I was a Republican
there's two
ad maker.
things, it seems to me, right, that you're going to resent if you are older and Southern. The older thing, and frankly, or conservative. Conservative, Southern, we just call it conservative. If you're older and conservative, you're going to resent, there's two things that you're going to resent. One is from a cultural standpoint, right? One is people who don't look like you being featured in and feted in society. I mean, it's one thing to have Michael Jordan play basketball, but it's another when, like, hey, the local TV news host, how come he doesn't look like me?
Well, that's quite another.
When I see the ads for, for the thing that makes me my penis erect, most of the guys they don't look like me. When
how that gonna help my penis?
My Cialis. I mean, I think so much of like marketing and so much of this is where people get so mad. Like, press 2 for English. What the frick? It's like, why am I no longer number one?
Women Ghostbusters, God
exactly.
Damn it.
Why am I a default?
It's a younger demo.
Why am I no longer the default when I look around society? But if I look at Jon Ossoff, I'm like, oh, damn it. He's about as white as they get. But what is the other? Well, one of the things that Weigel points out is that they tried to make Ossoff sound, they tried to push like he's a television producer. He's like from Hollywood.
I just do
right?
TV and I'm running for Congress.
But that is the whole thing. Like, right? They're the young hippie dippies.
ISIS, whatever, overrated.
So on one hand, it's the San Francisco thing where they literally put hippies in the peace signs. And then here's how they do young, childish radicals.
When will it stop? Liberal extremists violently obstructing President Trump. They're childish. They're radical. D.C. liberals, Hollywood elites, this is who supports Jon Ossoff. Because Jon Ossoff is one of them. Childish, radical. They've targeted Georgia, but we can stop them. We just need to vote. We can defeat Ossoff and the childish radicals. Vote today. Vote until June 20th. Vote against Jon Ossoff. NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
All right, pose it on that. Like, yeah, Samuel Jackson,
Just
Kathy Griffin,
black.
Samuel Jackson, Kathy Griffin, Bernie Sanders, and Nancy Pelosi.
Can you imagine Bernie Sanders is like,
We got to throw a black guy in there.
yeah,
I
there
mean, come
needs
on.
to be a black guy. Bernie Sanders is like, Jon Ossoff is such a pussy. He's never graffitied anything in his life. How dare you? He's a little weak-kneed cup of tea.
Well, I think they wanted to sort of push the Hollywood liberal thing because you could have put like Cornel West or someone, but I guess Cornel.
They probably don't know who Cornel West is. That's a little too upmarket for them.
Right.
I thought that was Cornell.
Yeah, Childish Radical would be a good rap name.
So Denzel Washington supports Jon Ossoff.
Oh, so they might. Denzel Washington probably appeared in a football movie that they thought was okay at some point. So they're like, you know what? He's one of the all right ones.
But I think that's really what's going on there. Is there's a lot of
I always have
cultural issues there.
I have the same experience every time I see an ad like this, or you could read articles in the National Review where you almost could be like, I had no idea that totally pedestrian, mediocre, liberal columnist was actually like a radical Gramscian. They sound really cool.
Right.
Like I watched that ad and I'm like, wow, Jon Ossoff seems far more dynamic and interesting than anything that he ever came out of his mouth. Imagine if Jon Ossoff with his same totally tepid like Obama impression was just like, and that's why, let me be clear, when I get to DC, I'm going to burn a limo.
I bet he
because
would have been.
I think we need to.
I bet he
resist
would have been more
capitalism.
liberal than he projected there.
Yeah, that is
But
probably
nevertheless. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos